Okay, so what are we gonna do in this session? We're gonna install Postgres on Oracle Cloud in the always free tier. I wanted to do this because I went through so many different tutorials and all of them had some issues in terms of how to connect, specifically in regards to the open port. So we'll make some comments on it. It's not gonna take more than a few minutes. So without any further ado, let's just crack it on and get it started. So previously we created two different instances, so IAMD and an ARM. So we're gonna try to use the IAMD for the connection, also because on the ARM I don't want to cheat, but I've already installed Postgres for testing reasons, so it actually is gonna work anyway. Once we connected, once we created everything, then we're gonna try to connect using PyCharm, just because it has everything already set up. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we take the public IP, and then what we have to do is just to connect to our instances. So we open a terminal. Now, in the previous series, I already created the SSH key that is stored locally on my machine. So in order to use that, so you can create the different keys and store whatever you like, and then with -i, you can call them. This one is the 147.72.203. So Ubuntu is the user. If you have any doubt about how to connect, you can see that Ubuntu, this is the public IP. So let's go back to our terminal. Doing this is gonna connect to our instance. Here we go. So now we are in. What we're gonna do then next is to do a classic apt update upgrade, just to make sure that everything is in order, even if I did it previously earlier today. So, however, it doesn't really create any issue doing it. It should be also pretty quick. So I'm not gonna stop the video unless it's actually required. So let's see how long it's gonna take. Okay, and okay, so now we do an upgrade. It shouldn't take too long as well. It's gonna ask for nothing. Actually, phone 4 can be upgraded. Okay, it doesn't really matter this. Cool. Now we are ready to install Postgres. This is the command to install all the different bits and pieces. There are some Python stuff as well that need to be installed. So, or maybe not, but just to make sure that we have everything there. I haven't mentioned, but as you can see from here, is the Ubuntu 22 as a version. So we should install then the latest version of Postgres as well. So once it will be done, I'll come back. So after a while, you get these messages. Something new that I've noticed came out like from the last few months, but really doesn't create any issues. So we go ahead, and then yeah, now it's all set up. Now what we're gonna try to do next is to create a database, create a user, assign the privilege to the user so we can connect. So let's do that. In theory, we can also check if what's the status of the service. So let's see actually if it's up and running. So we do sudo status, as you can see, is active and is running on this machine. Okay, so what we're gonna do is to then create. So first of all, we're gonna connect as a Postgres user to Postgres itself, and now I'm gonna list a few commands. It's extremely straightforward stuff, but just to quickly go through this. Okay, create a database. We create the user and assign a password. The password is on bracket. between the quotation marks, as you can see, secure password, okay, and you have to close with the semicolon, otherwise it's not going to accept the command. Okay, then we have to grant all privileges. This is really to get things running quickly, otherwise you can be a little more sophisticated in regards to what the different users can do. Okay, so this one is done. All right, so we can actually leave Postgres. Okay, so now there are two files that we need to change the configuration of Postgres. So in order for us to connect remotely. Okay, so as you can see, now it's up and running, but if I try to connect, there is no way that I'm gonna be able to. So I'm gonna bring PyCharm so I can try to connect and show you that. So we were saying that we can use PyCharm as a way to connect to the database and test that everything is working or not. So there's a set of databases that I've created previously. So let's create a new one. We have PostgreSQL. We said, okay, so what's the host? The host is this location. Go back here. We'll put the host. Okay. The user will call the master and the password was secure password. Now the name of the database is Postgres, but it's new DB. Okay. Now I apply, I do OK, and it's not gonna happen that it's gonna connect. So it's gonna give me error. Just wait a second. Right. Okay, as you can see, connection failed. Okay, everything is, yeah, as expected. Cool. So let's go back and do the changes that we said we needed to do in order to create the connectivity. So, right, issue was that we have to change two files, the configuration in two files. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the first of the two files is called conf and is gonna be here. So you can just use the sudo nano and get a way to edit the file. As you can see, the version of the file is the version of Postgres is 14. You can see the installation folder. Okay, so it's a very simple change that we have to do. We have to uncomment this, but we don't want to connect to this address, right? But we want to ensure that we can connect from anywhere. So we add this. By the way, is also written in the file. All right. So now we save, Control X, Y, and then enter. Okay, nothing really has happened at the moment, so it's not going to be possible to connect anyway because other pieces are missing, so I'm not going to even try to do that. So what we're going to do then, though, is to get into the next file that we have to change very quickly, and is the pghba conf, and is this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some changes. So here, also, the change is not too complicated, but we have to ensure that we give connectivity from everywhere. So here, we do this, we do this, and we do this. All right, so from anywhere, you can say, oh, okay, yep, this is everything that needs to be done. Then we do Control X, Y, and okay. So we're good with this. Now, what we need to do next is to start opening some ports. So in order to do that, the standard procedure is to install it. Is to install IP tables persistent. Should be already there where it was. Now, let's open the, sorry, let's manage the firewall now. And this is the command that you have to do to give to the system in order to the port 532. This is the full port for Postgres on the IP tables. So we do this. This is okay. It's done. Now, to avoid that, we have to do this one every single time. We're just gonna save persistent like this. Now, what is going to happen now is that we can try again to connect. Right? So I'm gonna use again PyCharm as a way to connect the database. The database is 147.72.203, 72.203. So it's this one. Okay, so we're trying to connect, and it should fail as we were expecting. Now, what we're gonna need to do is to now open the port, and then open also the port on okay, so now next step is to open port 5432 on the subnet, so on the security list. So we go there, we quickly do that, and after doing that, we should be able to connect to our server. Sorry. Okay, I digress. This one is from everywhere, and then we do 5432. So, all right. So now that this is done, we should be able to go back on PyCharm and try again to connect. Let's see how it goes. Okay, if I try then to connect, as you can see, it doesn't work. So most likely it's because we haven't restarted our server. So we get this command, we go on the terminal, and we restart it, Postgres. Because whenever you change the configuration, you should restart it. We changed the password, so now we should be able to connect. And here we go. This is a database that we have just created. So everything works. Remember, you have to use the sudo iptables command. You have to give this input here in order to open the file, the 532. You have to open the port on the security list and make sure you don't use the UFW firewall, because that would stop everything. Okay, that's it. Now you have Postgres, you can connect. Enjoy.